37. Now let's join Deidrey and prepare for meditation.
Let us sing, I feel the joy. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. Here we go. I feel the joy. Joy. I feel the joy. Joy. I feel the joy. Joy. And I feel alive. I feel the joy. Joy. I feel the joy. Joy. On this new day, I feel the joy. We're gonna sing, I feel the love. I feel the love. I feel the love. I feel the love. And I feel alive. And I feel alive. I feel the love. I feel the love. On this new day, on this new day, I feel the love. I feel the love. I feel at peace. I feel at peace. I feel at peace. I feel at peace. And I feel alive. And I feel alive. I feel at peace. I feel at peace. On this new day, on this new day, I feel at peace. I feel at peace. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. And I feel alive. And I feel alive. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. On this new day, on this new day, I feel the joy. I feel the joy.
I feel the joy. I feel alive. I feel the peace. I feel the love. Friends, if it's comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And with a gentle exhalation, just become a little more relaxed in your seat. Become aware of your breath. Feel the life stirring around inside your physical spacesuit here on Playground Planet Earth. And be grateful for that life. Feel the joy that arises in you, that you can say, I am awake to the presence of life. I am awake and fully present to life. As Unity Truth students, we know that life is consciousness, and we are awake to the expanding power of consciousness. We are awake to that connection of ourselves with one another, that connection to divine life and love and wisdom and power and will and zeal, and we are joyful. And yet our individualized expressions of the one are also tinged with sadness and with anger, with disappointment, frustration, But that is this manifest experience. And so now we pause and we bring our full attention, our full intention, our full awareness to the presence of peace within, the presence of love within. That place of eternity that is within consciousness in us, as us, breathing us now. And so while we are awake in the manifest world, let's awaken to the truth of who we are for a moment, in the stillness, in the silence. Let's, as Charles Fillmore said, let's go to headquarters and be aware of the unlimited love and peace and joy within. Rest here in the silence for just a moment. I am awake and fully present to the divine life within me, fully present to divine love within me. And because I am awake to these things, I choose love. I choose love today, right here and right now. Perhaps in this stillness you have noticed your breath become more relaxed, perhaps slower. Perhaps you have pulled away from the frenetic energy of the world that would distract you from the truth. And so now, as it's comfortable, and you bring your awareness back to the place and time, the space where you find yourself, know that this place of love, of divine life, this place of peace is always available to you, no matter the appearances around. With a gentle breath and a pause, you can simply affirm, I am awake and fully present to life and love and peace. I am awake and fully present to life, to love, and to peace. and for this I am grateful. And with a gentle breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes and come back to this space, choosing love today. And as we have spoken, so it is, and so we let it be.
We're going to sing I Feel at Peace. I feel at peace. Here we go. I feel at peace. I feel at peace. And I feel alive. And I feel alive. I feel at peace. I feel at peace. On this new day. On this new day. I feel at peace. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. And I feel alive. And I feel alive. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. On this new day. I feel the joy. And as we prepare ourselves to receive some spiritual nourishment from Rev Todd, let us sing this song. This one is by a woman called Valerie Williams, and I think it's Jonathan Griffin. They wrote that song together, and it's called I Nourish Myself. Here we go. With spiritual food, and I am free. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. Would you sing that with me? I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I remember the divine in me. I remember how to love me. Your turn. I remember the divine in me. I remember how to love me. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I remember the divine in me. I remember how to love me. I remember the divine in me. I remember how to love me. I remember the light in me, the love in me. I remember the love in me. I am free. I remember I am free. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I nourish myself with spiritual food, and I am free. I remember the divine in me. I remember the divine in me. I remember how to love me. remember how to love me. I remember the divine in me.
That was a new one, Deidrey, for me. I loved it. How often do we maybe need a little reminder that there is divine in me? Ooh, I love that. Short aside, I have a friend from college who has made his career doing technical theater stuff, and he retired from a state university in Virginia, and he still lives in the New River Valley where I grew up. And he commented yesterday a beautiful story where he was doing this large event for a church, and a number of performers and singers and musicians had children that had come. And so they set up a thing where the children of each one of the performers could come in to the soundboard. And he set up a switch where they felt like they could, help control the sound from their parents. Isn't that cool? Now, of course, it was fake, right? Because he really, he's like, I can override everything they're doing. But it was what a wonderful way to engage them into the backstage process and everything that's happening. And this was going really well. And then they were taking turns letting each person come in. And finally, one child came in and said, "Where is the off button?" My dad talks too much. His father, of course, was the minister. And I laughed, and I was like, wait. Are they sitting back there thinking about that? Means they're like, Calf, cut his mic. Cut his mic. And but of course I tell this story not because of the story and the laugh. That's really wonderful. But you know what? You are just like those little kids that get to go into the operating to the operation soundboard, and you get to decide how much volume you're going to let your father have. How much volume you're going to let your mother have. Not your manifest world mother and father, but I'm talking about the divine mother, the divine father, this energy that we are awake to. How much volume are we going to let that have in our lives, or are we going to shut it down? Because boy, I don't know about y'all, but I am still, more than 20 years into this, and I still sometimes get distracted by what's happening out here on Playground Planet Earth. Get distracted. And I was reading this week. Step out of the screen for just a second. I was reading this book this week, Keep a True Lent. Some of you know this book. Some of you don't. We all should. Should on people? Ooh. I pushed a button for some people. Don't tell me what I should do. This Keep a True Lent is just one more spoke on that bicycle wheel that gets to the middle that might teach us something about how to get to that place of oneness, that place where everything starts, where everything turns from. And I was reading in the introduction by Georgiana Tree West. I've mentioned her before. She's one of the prominent Unity writers. Georgiana Tree West pointed out that Lent, y'all know we've started Lent, right? This past Wednesday was Ash Wednesday. We've started Lent, and Lent is a 40-day experience that a lot of people do some fasting. You've heard of this. Maybe you choose to give something up. But Georgiana she points out in her introduction that there is no biblical reference in our Gospels for Lent. Would y'all believe that maybe, just maybe, some church sometime made it up? Can you believe that? But it is 40 days, and 40 days is biblical. Have you heard 40 before? Oh, Jesus in the desert. Anybody know any others? So for 40 years, the Israelites were wandering the desert. There's also
rain for 40 days and 40 nights.
Yes, thank you very much. 40 days and 40 nights with Noah and the ark. Moses also fasted for 40 days. It wasn't until the conclusion of his fast that Moses went up on the mountain to receive the Ten Commandments. Right? It wasn't until after 40 days of fasting that Jesus began his great spiritual ministry as he came out of the wilderness. 40 days and 40 nights, according to Georgiana Tree West, is a period of prayer and fasting as preparation for spiritual work. Now, does it really have to be 40 days? Now, metaphysically, we know that 40 means as long as it takes to be ready to do the work. And so we have this period of Lent that as metaphysicians who turn to the Hebrew and Christian scriptures for guidance, we can look to see what is in this for us. How can this impact our evolution of consciousness, our expansion into knowing who we really are? And how do we do that? How do we do that? And this is Charles Fillmore said, mind is the common meeting ground between God and man. Mind is the common meeting ground between you and life. Mind is the common meeting ground between you and love and peace and joy. Mind. So we wonder, like, well, I mean, what does that mean? All right, how do we consciously make union with creation, with Creator? How do we do that? And sometimes we talk about ideas and we say these things, and then we don't really fully embody what it means to do the practice, to do the work, to make sure that our mind is clear and ready. Have we had our 40 experience, 40 days, 40 years, 40 whatever? Have we had our preparation for the spiritual work that we are called to do? And in mind, what gets in the way? Anybody remember what gets in the way of us actually being able to open up and experience this oneness?
Ego.
The great voice has spoken. Well, ego is, a lot of it, because ego is the belief in separation. Edging God out. Our ego wants us to believe in the separation, wants us to believe that we are separate from the one, from life, from love, from will and wisdom and zeal and peace. And so what it is that gives the ego this opportunity to edge God out are our sins. Don't we love that word? Of course, we know in Unity, if you've been here for a while, sin is error thoughts, error thinking, that which is untrue. From this expanded place in consciousness, that expanded place of oneness, where we know that we are one with the one. And so what gets in the way are false ideas and false beliefs that we somehow, at some point in our life, heard somebody say something, and we went, oh, that must be true. And then we filed it in our subconscious and we decided to believe it. Y'all have any of those? You've weeded them all out. We're gonna walk over to the beach afterwards, those of us that are here in Atlantic Beach. And y'all can watch, we're gonna live stream as we all walk on water. Because we have overcome those ideas. Now they're still there, y'all. They're still there. And some of us, sometimes we think, I had a conversation this week, I'm not gonna out them unless they tell me I can out them, that said, it's easy for you, Todd, because you stay positive. I try. It's a practice. And I told them this story this week. When I started working in a restaurant when I was in high school. You know, my first job. I was a dishwasher, and I worked in that restaurant for 5 years. And one day I got a phone call that was, the restaurant has filed bankruptcy and you no longer have a job. And I don't know how y'all would feel about working for a place for 5 years and then not having a job. But you know, I immediately, because I was young and you have to work hard for your money. You can't just get a check. I had to work hard for my money, and I couldn't file unemployment, and so I immediately went to another restaurant and got a job. That's who I was, because I had committed in my mind this idea that I have to work hard to pay my bills. Y'all ever had an idea like that? Okay, and so I worked at that restaurant for a while, and the manager of the restaurant and her son-in-law, who was the head chef, got mad and quit and walked out one day. And so I came into work, and they call an all-staff meeting, and I'm sitting there, and I'm 20, and they have just promoted a bartender to be the general manager. And in a room full of people, I was griping about something. And he said, Todd, you are you are the most negative person I have ever met. What a gift. What a gift. Was I a negative person? Absolutely yes. And I can justify it. I mean, you know, I had grown up in a home with two parents who were loving towards me, but not each other, but not always towards me, at least not the way I wanted to receive it. I was not an athlete, which would have made my life much better, but I was a bit of a sissy. And I don't know if you know of people that are not athletic, but maybe a little bit sissy. Our defense mechanism is with our words. And I got very negative. And I could send you away from a conversation with 10,000 paper cuts. waiting on you to, go soap up in the shower, and it would hurt for a long time. I was a negative person. And I like to think I'm not now, but I also see that that's important for me to realize and recognize and to share with you, because it means you can change the way you think. You can change the ideas that you are putting your faith into. You can change those beliefs that have been filed into your subconscious. And when you change those thoughts and beliefs and ideas, you change your experience of life. That's the good news. That right there is the good news. The good news is that you are a beloved child of the Creator. And there is nothing that you can do that will take that away. And there is nothing that you have to do to earn it. You are a beloved child. And turn up the volume on what Creator is saying through you, so that you can be the presence of life. And the only thing you've got to give up, and you can practice it during Lent, because it's all a spiritual practice, are the error thoughts that show up in your life. Error thoughts. Anybody have an error thought? Anybody have one? Anybody want to talk about one today in service? Are you willing to be brave and share with us? Anybody? Kath, you're brave. Share with me.
That I have lack in my life.
I can identify with that. Can anybody else identify with that? Have lack in my life. Lack in my life. So what are ways that we deal with these ideas? What are the ways that we say, this isn't true? And we reprogram, we do a perception correction so that we can live into the truth of who we are. Anybody?
I say every morning, I claim peace of mind, power, and abundance now.
I claim peace of mind, power, and abundance now. I love that, Amy. I love that.
I've been using that for a year.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that is a form of an affirmation. Sometimes we can't jump right into the affirmation, though. Right? When I had put this false belief that I had to work hard for my money, because y'all, I carried that for a long time. A very long time. I carried that until I found a Unity church. Oddly enough. And I realized, I don't have to believe that way anymore. And working hard was tied to an idea and a belief in lack, in limitation. And I started to deny the power of lack in my life. Lack has no power in my life. There is nothing missing. I have every resource I need. A denial. I have every resource I need. I deny the power of lack in my life. Does that say that there wasn't lack in my life at the time? No. Because because I can sit here and I can affirm with all of you staring at me, and we don't have to go anywhere for 40 days. I can affirm these pants are bright purple. These pants are bright purple. Do you think in 40 days these pants are going to be purple? Probably not. You never know. But see, in consciousness, we know that the first thing that has to change is the way we think about stuff. And right now, all of us, except maybe Kath, most of us have an idea that the color of this fabric's not going to change with me just standing here. Something else would have to happen. And we get caught up in the cursed how's this going to happen. But see, when we deny the power that something has in our life, right? I deny the power of the media to disturb my peace.
Yes.
My peace belongs to me. And it is a gift of Creator. And I am one with the one. And so nobody can take my peace unless I let them take my peace. No one can take my prosperity unless I let them take my prosperity. And so I have to say that lack has no power in my life. I am prosperous, and every resource I need is available to me now. And I claim, what was it, Amy?
I claim peace of mind, power, and abundance now. And I say, I claim peace of mind, power, and abundance now.
Now. I love that. Thank you. And you have to keep doing that over and over again, because I wish I could remember or knew the actual name. I call it a devil weed. Well, it's not poison ivy. You can reach in there and grab it with your hand, but it's got these big old thorns on it, and it hurts. What? Nestle? Okay. Well, thistle. But it grows up in my trees. When I had my house in Greensboro, it was everywhere. It just shows up. And it's got beautiful leaves on it, but it's got these big thorns, and then it will choke out everything else. And the thing is it's got runners. And they go under the ground, and you think, oh, I have pulled that out and it is gone, but I didn't get all the runners. And that's how ideas of lack and limitation and separation exist in our subconscious. And so we get to do this over and over and over again. Charles Fillmore said that our way shower Jesus, that when he showed up, that wasn't his first experience here in Playground Planet Earth, that he had other incarnations where he got to learn this stuff. You can decide if that's true or not for you. But I know that in me, I get to live a lifetime every day of digging out the roots of error thoughts that are creeping under the ground, that, because on this spiral of life that I'm going around, and I'm trying to expand and understand my oneness with all things. Have you ever run into the same issue when you thought, oh, I thought I healed that? I thought I was done with that. I thought I forgave that. Well, you know what? I didn't dig out all the roots, all the error thoughts that were hidden in my subconscious, these ideas that would make me believe that I'm unworthy, that I'm an abomination, that there is lack in my life, that I have to work hard for stuff. Got to keep digging those things out. And so we do that with denials and affirmations, and we do them over and over again. And as Amy has said, she's been doing it for years. And from the outside looking in, I would say Amy's pretty prosperous, experiencing joy, dedicating herself, doing a preparation in every moment to open up and expand. And so many of us in this congregation do that over and over again. And if you're stuck, make sure you're spiritually prepared for that next moment, that next day. That's why we have the invitation of spiritual practice. One of those practices is denial and affirmation. And denial and affirmation are often go hand in hand in unity in our prayer practice. Remember, prayer in unity is we are not praying to an external God somewhere out there, sitting up in the sky, with a magic wand in one hand and a fly swatter in the other. Right? We pause just like we did in meditation. We pause and have a breath like we do in the morning with Peggy when she opens our service with prayer. And we are not praying to, but we are praying from an awareness of that divinity within, from that individualized spark that is at the core of who we are in consciousness. Not a raisin in a bun,
Traveling every week.
right? But within us in consciousness.
Like
Can we make sure everyone online is muted?
When I got back after that week.
That just distracts me when I'm listening to a voice over here and another one comes out of the speakers. Our spiritual practices ground us. They ground us so that we might be able to stand in the eye of a storm and look around at everything that's happening here on playground planet Earth and be calm, to claim our peace, to be the presence of love. And that is our divine right and our divine responsibility. One of the most valuable ways of observing the Lenten season is to fast from, to loose and let go. Unshackle yourself from beliefs of limitation and know that there is an unlimited power within you, an unlimited love within you, an unlimited potential within you in consciousness. Fast from the belief that men or nations can stand in the way of God's goodwill to man. Somebody just looked at me and said, I want to write that down. Observing the Lenten season is to fast from the belief that men or nations can stand in the way of God's goodwill for man. There is nothing that any individual, any nation, there is nothing that anyone can do to stand in the way of God's goodwill for you and you. And you online, and for me, and for everyone. And so this Lenten season, I invite you to loosen and let go all those ideas of lack and limitation. Dig them out, find them. Take time in spiritual practice. When an errant idea shows up, pause yourself. Make yourself a note. If you're in the middle of 1,000 other things and you don't have time for this right now, make a note so that you can go back and you can sit in the stillness and you can ask your higher self, your angels, whatever your spiritual practice and beliefs are, that you can sit for just a moment and you can say, show me where this resides in me and help me dissolve this. Help me remove this. Help me dig this up and go put it in the compost pile where it will degrade so that I can fertilize the life that Creator has in store for me. denial and affirmation is a cornerstone of the unity belief system. And after a conversation with some of our prayer chaplains recently, perception correction is becoming a part of every Sunday service. And so I invite you to email me with your ideas that need to be released and you want help with it. Come prepared one Sunday that you're going to be courageous enough to be willing to stand up and say, here's an issue I'm having, and help me deny the power of this in my life and affirm my greater good. Because we're a spiritual community, and as we come together in community and we hold the truth for each other, we manifest a peace-filled world that works for all. Are y'all willing to do that work? You willing to come and be courageous and play with us in service? Fantastic. Because we are moving past the point where we just get to ponder beautiful ideas. We have to take the truth we know and put it into action in our lives. We have to be the presence of love. And I don't know any group of people more ready, more capable than the people that show up and call this their spiritual home for inspired living. So it is, and so we let it be, friends. Thanks for letting me share today. I love you.
Thank you, Rev Todd, for your wisdom, for always giving us that spiritual food. This one is by Eddie Watkins. It's called I Walk Away. Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. And now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning, and by grace another day. I awake to the sun shining upon me, shining and lighting the way for me to see all the things I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Today is the day that I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every day I walk away.
Thank you, Deidrey. Wow.